Jonathan Schober here, Director of Customer Success for Clairvoyant Networks and TheoraCare. In this video, we're going to do a deep dive into managing, setting up, and configuring the watch. So if you're looking for more of an overview of our ESP system, our management dashboard, go look for the overview video. This is going to be a deep dive on how do you add, remove users, how do you reset the device, and how do you update the location on a device. So we're going to go ahead and get started in our device view. I'll look for one of my test watches. There we go. Again, we may need to, depending on the size of your screen, you may need to scroll to get the view of the device that you're looking for. Let's go ahead and tap on our View button underneath Actions. And this is going to give us all of the details. And again, we've got another video. Our overview goes into details of what's going on with each of these. But I'll just kind of, as a reminder, the latest information, this is going to tell us that it was updated 57 minutes ago. It was at this location. We can go to the map view. So again, look at our overview video for a deep dive into that, but I do want to retouch on something from a management perspective. So if you're in a situation where you're needing to help a customer locate their device, someone's gone wandering, we explain the heartbeats and how they update every 60 minutes or potentially every 15 minutes depending on the settings. First thing that I want to just show as a reminder is we can go into the remote control. We can send a location update. That's going to send the command to the watch to update its location. The watch is going to look at Wi-Fi and GPS and all of those things. And you can see it went ahead and updated that location now 1 second ago. Now into the new content for this video. What I want to do is we're going to show the details on the settings tab. So the settings tab is where all of our configuration takes place. So we can see the device, what its current status is. So lockdown enabled, by default, this is not enabled. So what lockdown mode does is it locks down all of the applications on the watch. So on the watch, there's a weather app, there's a step counter, there's device details. To some of our users, to some of the wearers, that becomes very frustrating to use. They get frustrated with the weather app and the step counter, and they really want the watch to just be a watch, just a timepiece. So we can put this in lockdown mode, and that will make it to where the watch is just a watch. You can't, if you tap on the screen, it won't go into any of the other applications. Now they'll still be able to use the SOS button, and but they won't be able to get to any of the other applications. So that's what lockdown mode is. And by the way, each of these settings are usually configured by the end user using our Theora Link Pro mobile application. But just in case you need to set up, help someone from like a support perspective or something, this is how we do it from a management perspective. That way we don't have to log in to the phone as them. We can actually do that. So again, most people are going to set this up themselves. You don't set up this this information for the end user. It is being set up when they install the application. But just in case you need to, that's the purpose of this training video. So the next option is Shake to Wake. So what this does is this is off by default. When it is turned on, if you rotate your wrist, the screen will display. The screen will turn on. Now we have it off by default to conserve battery. So by default, it's off, and if they want to actually activate the screen, they press one of the buttons and the screen comes on. Again, some of our users, that becomes frustrating for them to do, and so we have the ability to turn the shake to wake on so that when they rotate their wrist, it turns on. Now, the reason that we turn it off by default is every time that screen comes on, that does take battery power. So in order to conserve battery power, we leave it off, we ship it off. But again, some of our customers, that becomes frustrating. They don't like having to push a button to turn the watch on. So we can turn that on for them. Screen brightness, what's the brightness of the display, ring volume. Again, these are all the default settings. The screen brightness is kind of set at the middle setting, again, to conserve battery power. Ring volume is set to the maximum. Call volume is set to the maximum. We also have our fall detection, our smart fall detection. So this is using our neural network and artificial intelligence to determine if the person has fallen. So what it does is the person wears the device, it is monitoring their activity, their steps. If it detects an anomaly, that's what we call it, detects something is not right. So this is more than just a sudden impact. Especially for geriatric patients. Geriatric patients do not just kind of fall and kind of suddenly catch themselves. So we're looking at a lot of things much more than just sort of G-forces. So we're monitoring this person for these anomalies. And when the watch detects an anomaly, it sends it to our artificial intelligence, our neural network. The neural network analyzes that anomaly and basically determines whether or not it thinks that it's a fall. And if it is a fall, the watch will sort of display, and it will make an audible alert that says, "Have you fallen?" And the person can either cancel that if it's a false fall detected, or they can say, "Yes, I have fallen." If no response, it goes ahead. So if they respond, "Yes, I've fallen," or there is no response, the watch goes ahead then and activates the SOS call. So again, that's just going to tell us whether or not fall detection has been enabled or not. The heartbeat interval. So by default, the watch is going to be checking for its location updates every 60 minutes. Now, if they put a safe zone, if they install a safe zone area, that does change to 15 minutes. So for most people, or for people that are using the watch and they're really just using it kind of just in case their loved one is gone, they're not really concerned to know sort of immediately if they leave home or something. Then getting that information is every 60 minutes. And again, most people are looking at the app, and when the app comes on, it requests a location update sort of in real time as the app is as the app is going. Again, we do that to conserve battery. But for about 70% of our users, they do want a safe zone. They want a safe zone around their house. And so they will enable that. And that means they're wanting to monitor their loved one more closely. And so when that happens, it's every 15 minutes. So again, every 15 minutes, the watch is updating its location. And if they have entered or exited the safe zone, it provides alert to the contact. Now that contact is going to be listed here. So again, this is typically set up through the application. This is typically going to be their loved one or their professional caregiver. But this will tell us who the watch is going to call, or what number the watch is going to call if the SOS button is pressed, or if an SOS event is detected because of a smart fall detection event. Continuing on down, and we're going to go through these at the top and show how to edit them, but just to finish out this screen, This is not the firmware versions. These details are not editable from here. This is primarily used by our support team at Clairvoyant Networks and TheoraCare. But this just tells you what the firmware version, the different app versions, so some of the technical details that our support team uses when troubleshooting the devices. So going back up, if you want to change any of these settings, what we're going to do is we are going to click on Update. And as we click on Update, again, you can go through each of the settings. So I can turn lockdown mode off or on. I can change my my screen brightness. I can go through all of the settings. Change the phone number. Whatever the settings are, and then again to save it, I just say save and send settings, and that pushes those settings to the watch. Now, in some cases, some of our users, they will manage the devices, they'll deploy them to the user, and if the user is no longer using it, they may redeploy that device to somebody else. So we do have a way to reset the device. So up at the top of the screen, we have kind of, we don't want people to get to it real easily because we don't want people to accidentally press that button. But next to the edit metadata, there's these three lines here. You can tap on that and go to reset the device. And what that's going to do is that's going to remove all of the users, all of the contacts, and safe zones, basically re-provision that device as a new device. It'll redisplay the QR code so it can be redeployed to a new user. Okay, so that's the settings. The next feature that we're going to look through is we're going to look through our users. And again, in most cases, the customer or the user is adding and changing this through the mobile application to get this. But here we can see who is that person that is the primary contact, that is the user for it. If they have any alternative caregivers, you can see that information. You can for contacts. I don't have any contacts on this, but that's devices that that the watch could call other than their users. That's typically not a feature that is turned on. Now the users and the contacts, this is not something that our tenant admins can manage those. So if there needs to be a change, again, most of the time that's done through the Theora Link Pro application. And again, you can go to the training video on how to add, remove applications in the training video. If for some reason there is some additional support, kind of third level support that is needed, then our team at Clairvoyant Networks or TheoraCare can add and change users and contacts for it. But that's not something that as a tenant admin, you can't make changes to the users or the contacts. You can just view what that information is. I hope that this has helped. If you do need to get a hold of our support team, you can contact us at 512-371-6164 or email us at support@theoracare.com.